screen to you. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, so databases CS302 is going to be the subject that I'm going to teach you. So this is, I will just briefly introduce this subject to you. And one thing I will tell you is database, whether it is databases or database management system, it is a very important topic for us, means as a, for computer science engineers. This is a very important topic. Okay, you are going to get many questions related to this particular topic in your competitive exams and also in the interviews you are going to face for your placement. So as much as possible, I'll try to convey the knowledge that I have about this, and also uh, you need to learn many other things from the external sources also. So as much as possible means you have to give your effort also for here in this particular subject and try to learn as much as possible. Okay, during this particular semester, because you are not going to have enough time in order to learn all the things related to database and database management system. So I think most of you have some idea on databases and database management system. Any example application you know? Anyone? Can you tell me? Because we are using database management system in our day-to-day lives also. Can you tell me any example?
Ma'am, a web page like a web, I or we can say about trends, IRCTC database or something.
Google Cloud.
Yeah, there were reservation systems. Some of the very easy examples are
Ma'am,
airline
Banking.
reservation system, bank management system,
for
your
calculate
library, yeah, library management system. Okay,
calculator also.
yeah. So all of these are the applications of database management system that we know. Okay, so what is this databases and database management system? I'll give an example and I'll just explain some few things about database management system. So, say for example, your library management system. The library management system, here we are going to store information about the books, information about the users, information about the books who is already borrowed by some users, and information about who borrows which books and how many books can be borrowed by a particular person. All those things will be stored in the library management system. Okay, and these are the informations that are going to store in the library management system. Other than this, it is also going to have many small programs which will be used for manipulating the data that is stored in the database and then accessing the data that is stored in the database and many other important uh, functions like security, maintaining safety of the database, maintaining stability of the database, maintaining consistency of the database. So database management system is a pack of things where we will have the database where the information will be stored, and also small programs which will be used, which we are going to use for manipulating the data and also for other means, other things. Okay, so that is an example database management system that I have just given you, and that is the library management system. So this is a small an example which is used for introducing the database management system. Let us see the definitions of databases and database management system. So it is a logically collection of it is a collection of logically interrelated data. Okay, so they are means data are going to be interrelated to each other. If data is present in a database, then this data that is constituting the particular database, they are going to be interrelated to each other. Okay, they will have some relationship between each other. Okay, and there will be kept collectively in a very logical sense, logically, conceptually we are going to store it collectively. It might be stored in a different ways in the digs, but as a whole we are going to see it as a collection of interrelated data. Okay, conceptually. Okay, so, and it will be organized in such a way that it is means it will be based how the organization of data will be done, and it will be based on the application for which the database is going to be used. Okay, so interrelated data will be stored, and the data organization will be done according to the application. Application means if where the application is for a railway reservation system, then according to that, the data organization will be done. If it is for a library management system, then according to that, the data organization will be done. Okay, so that is the definition for database. And what about database management system? This I have already mentioned. It is going to be the collection of the data, collection of interrelated data that we already know, that is going to be the databases, isn't it? So we will have databases plus programs that manage or control the use of data stored in the databases. So these two things collectively, they are known as database management system. So database management system has two components. The first one is the database itself and the programs which will be used to manage and control the use of data. Okay, any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so if we are going to see how the things that revolves around database management system, then we can and see it in by using this particular figure. We can see the things that is what to say, that is directly or indirectly related to our database management system. Okay, so you can see two rectangles here. These two rectangles here, these two rectangles, they represents the programs that is going to be managing the database and controlling whatever things that we are going to do in the database. Okay, so these are the small programs that we are going to have inside our database management system. Other than these programs, it is going to have the database itself. Okay, and your database is stored in the disk, and this here here you can see this particular disk here, disk storage. So in this disk storage, we are going to store the actual database. So in the database, what we are going to have is, we are not going to have only the data. Other things are also going to be there. What are those things? So we will have data files where we are going to store the data. Other than that, there are three more things. One is the indices. Indices is in order to access the data more easily, more quickly, we will have indices. And then statistical data means statistical data related to the data files. So this will be these are also going to be stored there in the disk. And data dictionary. So the data dictionary is very important. So what is this data dictionary? This dictionary is going to contain the information about the data that is stored in the database. Okay, whatever data we have stored here in this particular data files, it is going to have information about it also. Okay, so those information will be stored in the data dictionary. And what is this information? Say, for example, the domain of the data, what values can be inserted in the data, particular field, and what now how the data are interrelated to each other, what kind of relations do they have. All these things, all these informations will be, these are the informations about the data, isn't it? So this informations will be stored in this data dictionary. Okay, so this is about your databases. Let us see this data with the programs that we are having here, small application programs, that means small programs which will be controlling and manipulating the database. So before going here, let us see the external things that is uh, that is related to our database management system, somehow related to our database management system. And this includes users of the databases also, users of the database management system. So users are again subcategorized as like this: knife users, application programmers. This is going to be programmers, okay, application programmers. Okay, so it is already 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left. You people just entered now. Next time, try to enter the classroom as soon as possible, because uh, students who join after 15 minutes after we start the class, I'm not going to allow them to join. Okay, so next time, don't forget it. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so the users of the database management system, and they are knife users, application programmers, sophisticated users, and database administrators. So I'll explain starting from database administrators. So database administrators are going to be the person who is the, it is going to be the centralized person who is directly accessing the database management system, who is controlling the database management system. Okay, so this person, what it is going to do is, it even he or she is going to define the database also. Okay, defining the database means he or she is going to give the definition, means what data is going to stored in the database, how they are going to relate it to each other, how the relation will be formed between each other, what domain will be, means like data types of the data will be there, like this. All these things will have to be means we have to write some programs in order to define the database, isn't it? So this particular database administrator is going to write that particular program. Okay, so this this is the person who we can say it is the person who is going to create the database. Okay, that means he or she is going to design the database schema. You can say schema also here. Database schema, it is going to define it by the database administrator. Okay, and after getting the database schema means definition about the database. As I have already mentioned, it is going to be the definition about the database, like how many data are going to be stored, what will be the data types of the data, all these things. Okay, so database schema, if we have this database schema, by using some language, we are going to write the command in order to write the instruction in order to create the database, isn't it? So that language that we are going to use in order to create a database is known as data definition language, DDL. Okay, data definition language. So now here our database schema, we are going to write it, means like we have to convert it to the actual database. So it will be done by using data definition language, and that instructions will be interpreted by using the DDL interpreter, which is there present there in our database management system. Okay, DDL interpreter is going to interpret it, and if it is interpreted, it will be executed, and the data dictionary, as I have told you, Data dictionary is the one which will be storing the information about the database. So data dictionary, whatever information it is going to store here in the data dictionary, this is related to the definition that is defined by the database administrator. Okay. After this, we also have sophisticated users. Sophisticated users are the users who know about the uh, technicality about the database management system, but they don't care. Means, say for example, engineers, software engineers, computer engineers, they know about the database management system, but when we are going to use a bank database management system, we are just a simple user, isn't it? We don't care. So, but still we can write queries in order to access the data that is stored in the particular database management system. So those users, they are going to write queries. Query means by using some command, by using some language, as we will be writing query in order to access information from the database. Okay, so for example, if you want to see in the bank management system, if you want to see your balance from your account that is there in the database management system, then you can write a query in order to access your balance, isn't it? So those queries, we have to write it by using again another language, and that is known as data manipulation language. Okay, these things I will tell you later on. I will explain it later on when we go to the structured query language, other query language. But for now, just remember that we also have a set of language which is known as data manipulation language, by using which we can write queries. Okay, and the query are going to compile by using DML compilers. So DML compilers are also present there in our database management system. So they are going to compile it, and this by using the whatever compiler is compiling it, it will be executed, and we are going to access the data stored here in the database by using indices and all those things. Okay, excuse me. Okay, and other things are application programmers. So application programmers will write application programs. So these are some programs that can be written in JavaScript or whatever. And inside this application programs, we are going to have embedded database manipulation language queries. Okay, and means queries will be present here. Okay, in a program, it is going to be a very used program. Inside the programs, we can have some database related queries. Okay, so those queries, they are again going to be compiled by using the DML compiler. So that is why we are having an arrow, double arrow here. So embedded DML precompiler will use the DML compiler in order to compile the whatever query which is embedded here inside the application program. And then by using this embedded DML compiler, we are going to access the data base is by using this arrows here. And even by using this arrow, we can access. Okay. And the last one is knife user, which doesn't know anything about the internal structure of the database management system, which doesn't know anything about the technicality about the database management system. They can also access the database, isn't it? By using ATM machine, people can access the bank management system, isn't it? So they doesn't know anything about the technicality about the whatever happening inside the database management system, but they can also access, isn't it? And it is because of the application means whatever GUI interaction means the graphical interface means this interaction that is provided by the database management system, they can interact with the database management system, isn't it? So that is how the knife user are going to interact with the database management system. So these are some small programs that is executing inside the database management system whenever some programs are executed. Okay. And inside this rectangle again, inside the database management system, we also have buffer manager, file manager. These are all related to the DICs. Okay. storage, whatever storage we are having. So this buffer manager and file manager, they are going to manage, as means they are going to organize the data in such a way that we can access it very easily, very quickly. Okay. So these are related to the organization of the data. And also it will have transaction manager. So transaction manager is related to transaction. And what is this transaction? Again, it is a very important topic in your database management system. What is this transaction? I will again explain it using an example. Say for example, uh, when uh, when you people is promoted from second semester to third semester, okay, from second semester to third semester, when you are promoted, you can change your branch, isn't it? You can change your branch, means you can change the branch from CSE to ECE, ECE to CSE, and then civil to CSE, like that. You people, some of you have changed the branch, isn't it? So if a particular student say XYZ, if a particular student say XYZ change the branch from civil department to computer science department when he or she is promoted from second semester to third semester, what will happen is we will have a data file for civil department and we will have a student data file for CSE department. Okay. So what needs to be done is we need to update both the files. We need to delete the information about the student from the civil files, a civil file, and then student file, and then we have to add the particular information in the CSE data file, isn't it? So here some set of instructions is we have involving here, isn't it? Deleting the information from the civil file and again and inserting the same information in the CSV file, some set of information is executing. Okay. And this set of instruction needs to be done at once. Why? Because this is performing a particular unit tasks. Okay, it is performing a particular unit task. So that is why they needs to be performed at once. It means one after another, without any interruption, without any system crash or whatever. Okay, so for example, if the information about the student is deleted from the civil, and before inserting the same information, before adding the same information in the CSV file, if some system crash occurs, if some failures occur, then what will happen? We will lose the information about that particular student, isn't it? So that is why the set of instructions that is performing in order to perform this particular unit tasks, they needs to be done at once. I mean, they needs to be done as a whole, or they shouldn't be done at all. Okay, so such kind of instruction set is known as a transaction. In the language of database management system, this kind of set of instruction is known as transaction. Okay. So transaction needs to be managed. As I have already told you, many things needs to be managed here. Say we have to make sure all of them is executed, or if it is not executed, if any of the instruction is remain unexecuted, then all of them should be undone. Okay, so those things, they are going to be managed by some particular program, and that is managed by the transaction manager. Okay, so these are the things that is somehow directly or indirectly related to our database management system. Okay, any doubt in this figure? I have already introduced small terms, important terms that we are going to be learning in details in in next few classes. Okay, so you just need to know the terms, what these are, what DDL is, data definition language, and what DML is, data manipulation language. By using data manipulation language, we are going to write queries. By using data definition language, we are going to define our database. And then we will also have transaction, something like which is called transaction. And we will have file managers. We are going to have data dictionaries. Okay. So these are some important things you need to know about the database management system, some basic things. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so this is a brief introduction about, excuse me, about database management system. If you have anything, any query, you can freely ask me, or else I'll continue. So the next topic is characteristics of database management system. These things I have already mentioned it, but still let us go through the characteristics one by one. The first one is it provides suitable mechanism for data access and data manipulation. So it provides many things like data definition language, interpreters, manipulation language, compilers, and all those things. So it has many things which will make us, the user, easier to access data from the database, and also we will be able to update and do things with the data that is stored in our database. Okay. And the next one is maintain system integrity. Database management system maintain system integrity. So here is system. What is this system? System is going to be the database management system or the database. Okay. So it is going to maintain system integrity means, say for example, it will maintain the domain integrity. The relationship integrity means a domain about the data, what information, what particular data can be stored in a particular field, and you can see the data types and all those things. So in some integrity will be provided, okay, by using the database management system. And what relationship can we have between the database, which data can be related to which data, all those things, integrity needs to be provided, and it is maintained by the database management system. Okay. The next one is prevents redundancy and inconsistency. So, uh, mm, say if we have some traditional file management system, so if then what will happen is we will create a file in which we will be storing information about the student, and we will again have a file in which we are going to be storing the information about the faculty and all those things. Okay, and for each faculty, again, if a file is maintained, then file is maintained for the students, then what will happen is redundant information about a particular students will be present there in the file management system. Say for a particular faculty, in a particular files of a particular faculty, the information about a student will be there. And if there is a file for another faculty, then again information about the same student will be there. Okay, so redundant data will be present there in that kind of in those type of management systems. Okay, because they are traditional file management system that some of the person some of the people are still doing. So database, we are using database management system then, and because of the programs it has, it will automatically prevent this redundancy. Okay, if redundancy is prevent, then what will happen, data inconsistency is also going to be prevent. Okay, why, how, I will give another example. I will give the same example again in order to explain inconsistency. What will happen is if there is a faculty A which is maintaining information about a student, about his or her student, and again if there is another faculty Y which is again storing the same information about the students. Okay, and if there is some updation, if, say for example, if for a particular student, if the branch is changed, then what will happen is we have to update each and every file that is present in the institution, okay, where that particular information is present about the student. Okay, so if we have data redundancy, then automatically data inconsistency will come for sure. Okay, because if an updation is happen in a particular file and if there is no updation in another file, then data inconsistency occurs, isn't it? So that those things occurs in traditional file management system, but in database management system it is going to prevent redundancy on, and also it is going to prevent data inconsistency. Okay, the next one is support asset property. So asset property is related with the transaction that I just mentioned. So asset property, what is this asset property? Asset, here we have four characters. So the first one is A. So A means atomicity. Atomicity means a transaction needs to be, we have to see it as an atomic unit of instruction. It will present many instructions, but we have to consider it as a single instruction. Okay, so it should be an atomic, means atomicity. Atomicity provides that particular property. Okay, the next one is consistency. Again, and when a transaction takes place, is the database management system is in a consistent, if it is in a consistent state before the transaction is executed, then after the transaction is executed, it should again bring to another consistent state of the database. Okay, that means consistency should be maintained even after executing the transaction. Okay, that is represented by the C, and the third letter is I. So I, isolation. If two or more transactions versus accessing the same data is executing at the same time, okay, then they should be treated, means they should be executed independent to each other. So isolation, isolatedly they should be executed. Okay, the last one is durability. So durability, again same thing. If a transaction occurs, I have already told you, if a transaction occurs, then it should be occur at once, means it should be done. If it is, if any of the instruction is missed out, then it should be undone. All of the instruction that is already executed, it should be undone. Okay, so that is durability. So this is related to your transaction. The next property is handles problems of concurrency. Okay, so if a data is accessed concurrently, if a particular data is accessed concurrently, then some inconsistency will take place for sure. Okay, I will give an example for this. If we are accessing railway reservation system, they are accessed at the same time by many people, isn't it? So if and they are concurrent execution of the concurrent execution is done, and by using which we are accessing a particular, means that many of the peoples are accessing the same data at the same time, isn't it? Those things are known as concurrent transaction or concurrent database access queries. Okay, so these things, if they are accessing the data concurrently, if any updation is happening, okay, if any updation is happening, then some problems may arise, some inconsistency in the data may arise. Okay, so those things are handled by the database management system. Those inconsistency are, means they doesn't allow any inconsistency in the data. Okay, so we are going to learn these things in detail in the later classes, but for now you just need to know database management system is also able to handle problems that is occur because of concurrency. Okay, the last one is it provides safety and security. So again, safety and security, so for example, we can't access in whatever way we want in a bank management system, isn't it? If we are able to access, if we are able to do anything in the data that is stored in the bank management system as a user of the database, then chaos will be there, isn't it? So we can perform some of the operations, but we can't perform some other operations. say for example, we can see our balance, we can check our balance, but we can't update the balance in whatever whenever we want. If there is some transaction happens, bank transaction, then it may happen. But if even without having any transaction, if we can update our balance, then it is not means we are not allowed to do that, isn't it? So the database management system has another characteristic which will provide safety and security to the data that is stored in our database. Okay, so these are the characteristics of database management system. Any doubt here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so in the next class, we'll see the other details, details about other things in on this database management system. So that is it for today. If you have anything, then you can tell me. If you have any doubt, then you can ask.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I think you should send this PDF in our group.
yes, ma'am. That's will be easy
That
to
would be
maintain.
more helpful.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not a PDF. This is this is just a presentation. You are not going to means I can share it, but you are not going to. It doesn't have any detailed information. So I'm going to share different thing. Means I'll give you lecture notes at the completion of each and every topic. I'll share lecture notes in your Google Classroom. Okay, is it okay?
This
Sure,
will
ma'am.
also, ma'am.
Ma'am, it would
Okay.
be better if you send PPT too, and
Yes,
like
ma'am.
whatever we have learned in the class, that would be easy to recall.
Okay, okay. Okay, then I'll share the PPT also. Anything else?
Is there any textbook to refer to?
Yeah, I have mentioned some of the textbook here. I'll show you. So these are the reference books that you can you refer to for this particular subject. First one is database system concepts. That is it is by Silvergis. You can I think this one you can't find it in the web. But this one, database management system by Ramakrishnan, this you can find it from the web. You can download it from the web also. Okay. And another book is there that is Fundamentals of Database Management, Database Systems by El Masri and Nabate. So this is also a very good book. You can refer any of these three. Okay, all of them they are really good books. So you can refer any of these three.
Okay,
If you
thank you,
can
ma'am.
purchase, you can purchase one. Means if you can purchase, then purchase it. Okay, because even in means in lifelong you are going to use it. Okay, as a computer engineers, it will be anytime you can use it. Okay, at any point of time, it may be useful to use to you people. So you can buy any of this book if you can, or else you can download it from the web. Okay. Anything else? Okay, then let me check your attendance. So I got the student list today only, so I haven't prepared your attendance sheet. Okay, let me just see the list.